Welcome to the Shark Bite Show, where we dive into the stories of our members, coaches, friends, and family of Shark Bite Fitness and Nutrition. All right, let's roll.
Hey guys, we have a very special treat today. It's my honor to interview Nick Havich for our podcast. Happy birthday, Nick. Nick is a veteran and owner of the Southwest Florida Sharks, owner of the Shark Bite gyms throughout Southwest Florida, here in the Cape, Fort Myers, and Naples, as well as a lover of animals and our resident unicorn. So, Nick, the shoe is on the other foot finally.
Yeah, it feels really strange.
Yeah,
on this side of the table.
Let me give you the backstory. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy,
yours is the day before, so happy birthday to you.
I feel like I'm a big brother to you because my birthday is like one day before
Literally,
you.
Right, so you're only a day
I'm
older.
only a day older.
Only a day
right?
older,
So,
yeah.
two Tauruses. That's a great combination. So, Nick, a little backstory on this. Stephanie approached me a little while back and wanted to do this for you for your birthday. And I thought it was a great idea because every podcast I hear is awesome. But I think, not to sound biased, but one of the most interesting characters of this organization is you, obviously. You're just a very interesting person.
Well, thank you.
I think everybody does want to hear your story. So we're going to have a little fun. We have a bunch of questions here, but we'll see how it goes. And, have a good time. All right?
We're here.
Cool. All right. All right, Nick. So let's start from the beginning. Where'd you grow up in your younger years?
This is a hard question to answer, right? I grew up kind of all over the place.
Okay.
I was born in Miami.
All right.
Left there before I was 1.
Okay.
Went and lived in the Northeast.
Oh, nice. Whereabouts?
New York, Connecticut.
Oh, okay. My neck of the woods.
Yeah, New England, that kind of area. Ended up back down in Miami for high school. And then I was in the Army. So
Okay.
I don't really have a place I'm from.
Okay.
I moved around a lot.
Gotcha. Yeah, kind of bouncing around and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that probably Florida would be like your primary residence.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to answer that question. So that's usually what I say.
All right.
I just say I'm from Miami.
Yeah, and just for the record, you're 33 now with your birthday?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
33.
Wow.
Well, that's something.
I told someone recently I was 28. And then midway through the conversation, I was like, "That's not right.
No, that was
that's
like
way
a million
off.
years ago. Man.
That's way off now."
Yeah, that was pre-pandemic.
By a lot.
Oh man. So yeah, tell me about like your teen years, man. Like what, as a kid, what did you do for fun?
Okay, so I was not into working out.
Okay.
At all. I was
right.
never a fitness dude.
Yeah.
I was not a sports guy.
Yeah.
I probably started every sport known to man and did it for about a week and a half and then quit.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I grew up with a single mom, generally, and then alternated between that and my dad. So neither of them really pushed me to get into sports, so I didn't. So I played a lot of video games, watched a lot of TV.
Yeah.
I probably watched more TV and played more video games growing up than the vast majority of human beings.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean, that's all I did.
Honestly, there's a lot of similarities between us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of went the same path. My single family household. Nobody really pushed me into sports. A lot of TV time, a lot of messing around with the kids. Stuff like that.
Yeah, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon had a lot of things
Exactly.
my development. And Comedy Central at way too young an age.
Yeah, right? Remember the old, I don't know if you remember the Ren and Stimpy episodes.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I just watched a great documentary about that on Hulu.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy was awesome.
That was not a kid's show, and it was on a kid's show.
No, exactly, yeah. You're right. Yeah, back then, can you imagine the stuff that we got away with back then?
Yeah, right.
Ren and Stimpy, even The Simpsons were a little bit cutting edge.
I remember watching South Park when it first came out, and my mom not realizing that was definitely not a kid's show.
Exactly.
Because it was a cartoon.
Trey and the other guy.
Trey Stone and Matt Parker.
Trey Stone, oh my God. Those guys pushed the envelope to this day. God bless them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So you graduated high school in Miami.
Yep.
All right. Cool. And
that was in 2006.
All right. Did you know you wanted to join the military before high school, before you graduated?
No.
Okay.
I know it's really common to say people join the military to serve their country and do the right thing, but that was not necessarily my thought process at the time. My parents are both great people.
Yeah.
They've gone on to be successful, but neither of them graduated high school.
Right.
There was no push for me to do any form of higher education.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I don't know that either of my parents ever talked to me about going to college at any point.
Right.
Or really anyone in my family. If they did, I don't remember it, so sorry. I won't get anyone in trouble. Right. So that was never something I planned on doing. So I got to something like March of my senior year, and I hadn't taken SATs, I hadn't applied to any colleges, I hadn't done really anything in any way. I didn't know what I was doing next. But I was in ROTC, which is like that kind of like junior, fake junior military in college.
Sort of like a path to...
Sort of, yeah, you know, and I liked it a little bit. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, so it turned into an altruistic thing, but it definitely didn't start that way, you know? Yeah. I was like, I need to go do something. Yeah. And so I joined the Army. I graduated in May 06, and I was in the Army in June 06.
Wow. Yeah, so you didn't waste any time.
Nope.
That's good. Yeah, because I'm sure if you waited a few months or something, you would have had some second thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. And I know enough about me now to know that had I gone to college at 18, I would not have been successful.
Yeah.
I would have wasted a lot of somebody's money.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be as happy as I am now. So.
Yeah. I mean, funny story. I've been in college for 30 years now.
Yeah.
My parents were sort of the same way. They're like, hey, you know, if you want to go to college, cool. But they kind of knew my grades were nowhere near college level. So they didn't really push me for it. They're like, you know, law enforcement's always good too, kid.
I had whatever the lowest GPA possible was to graduate. So I think it's like a 2.0. I had like a 2.1 or something.
Honestly, I never took my SATs or anything like that. I got into like the local county college, the 2-year school for about 10 years, and at that point everybody gave up. So, all right. So after high school, so you go through ROTC. After high school, you go right into the military. So, what was like the whole indoctrination process? Like talking to the recruiter and all that stuff like that.
I don't know if I've ever told. I mean, I'm sure I've told some. I've not told many people this. My recruiter was my ex-girlfriend at the time's dad.
Oh God.
Right. So he was not super interested in being real honest with me.
Okay.
Or, you know, like my best interest was not something he cared all that much about.
Yeah, I can see that happen.
So like honestly, I had no idea what I was getting into. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the case with everybody, but I think mine was a little extra special. Like he did not care at all about telling me the things I needed to know.
Right. Like he just wanted to get you on that bus.
Yeah, it was a lot of, hey, shut up. You know, you used to hang out with my daughter. I don't like you. Do everything I say, or I'm not letting you in, kind of stuff. You know. So like I said, I graduated in May 2006. I was in the Army June 2006.
And that was a tough time to join the military.
Well, yeah, and then I was in Iraq by November 2006.
Wow.
Right? So I joined during something called the Surge.
Yes,
right?
I remember hearing that.
Yeah, that's when they were like flushing as many troops as possible into Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So you could get in with like anything. There was no disqualifier of any kind, right? So like I know this now. I didn't know it at the time. I probably shouldn't have been able to get in. My vision was really, really bad.
Okay. Yeah.
But at the time I joined, man, you could have felonies. You could be missing limbs.
Yeah.
You could be 100 pounds overweight.
Yeah. Boots on the ground.
Yeah. Right. They were just like bodies. And I guess that's probably the only reason I ended up in.
Wow.
You know.
Huh. Yeah, that's got to be. And I mean, were you more like as a kid? I can see like kids are less fearful. I think they have like this. They don't think they can die or anything that happens. Were you at all scared, or you were more excited to get out there?
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Like, I was 18, brand new, and I was not what I would call a super mature or like tough kid,
right.
You know. So I didn't have any idea what I was getting into, right. So that made it a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Than if I had done it at like 24, 25, or 30, or
you had some time
like
to like see what was going on.
I had no perspective on real life. You know, it was just like I lived at my dad's house.
Right.
I was in high school. Yeah. Now I live in this terrible barracks and people scream at me. Like,
exactly.
That is just what my life is.
Yeah. We got to definitely go over your boot camp experience. I know everyone wants to hear about that. Okay. So you weren't exactly terrified because you weren't watching like the news and everything.
Yeah, right. Like that's a real thing. Like I don't know that I'd ever seen like CNN or any other news site or channel at the time. Like I didn't really know what was. I knew I was going to war.
Right.
But that's just like an arbitrary term. You don't understand that when you're 18,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Like when I was 2006, I was a police officer for a number of years. But even the thought of me going into a war zone terrified the hell out of me, scared the hell out of me. But I was also, in my 30s at the time.
Right.
So I had some time to develop fear.
I think that's very much a real thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you understood what it meant to lose some of those things, right?
Yeah.
I had no perspective on that.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is the next thing I do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. This is it.
It's no surprise the Army heavily recruits 18-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. For a reason.
Yeah, you don't know enough to know, like, oh,
right.
I shouldn't do this shit.
Yeah. If you tell an 18-year-old charge that hill or attack that building, even though there's a machine gun nest in it, you're like, cool, let's do it. Meanwhile, a 35-year-old will be like, you attacked that building.
Have you ever read Ender's Game?
No.
Yeah, so put that on your list. That's
okay. Ender's Game?
The quick synopsis without any spoilers is they use children to wage virtual war.
Okay.
Instead of having adults do it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say anything else, but it's...
Yeah. I'll check that out. Yeah, I'm always looking for a good book. I remember one story you told me about your first day at boot camp where you're up in upstate New York, right? Where you're doing your training.
Oh no! So that was when I got to my tell the story, but that was after boot camp. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you had no jacket or anything. It was in the middle of the winter in upstate New York, right?
Yeah.
In the Buffalo area, I guess it was, or.
Yeah. So I did my basic training in Georgia, right?
Okay.
That's where Army infantry does theirs. After that, I went to upstate New York, Fort Drum.
Fort Drum. Okay.
Yeah, it's Watertown, New York. It is the worst place in the world.
Really?
Just the worst. There's no place in the world that's worse than upstate New York.
Have you been to Camden, New Jersey?
Yes, I have. Yes, there's no. Trust me when I say there's no place on
worse.
it. Yeah, just a cesspool of military leeches. But,
oh wow.
I lived up there and it snows like 10 months a year. It gets down to like -30.
Yeah.
I just left Miami.
Right, exactly. You're a Florida boy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just finished my after basic training leave, which is like a week you get off to be with your family.
Okay.
And I go up to the Syracuse airport, which is about an hour and a half south of where I'm going.
Yeah.
And when I left Miami, it's like 75 degrees.
Yeah.
I got there and it's like -10.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I was
what
not,
a shock.
I wasn't prepared for that, so I was wearing not far off from what I'm wearing right now. I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, and like if you live in Florida, you're not built for that at all.
Right,
Even if you had a jacket.
It was so wild. I had to get from the airport to the base, but I had no idea where the base was.
Right.
And there wasn't Uber or like Google Maps.
Right.
Man, that makes me sound old. It's true, right. So I had to convince a cab driver who didn't want to do this. I had to overpay. It cost me like $300 to get the cab driver to take me to the base.
Jesus.
And then the base didn't let cab drivers on, so I had to walk from the front gate of the base to like the in processing place.
Yeah.
And you would think that that's like right next to the front gate. It's not. I had no clue where I was. I'm just walking down the street of a military base in t-shirt and shorts in like -10 degrees.
Oh my god.
And some dude pulls over and he's like, "Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, right. See some kid with a Miami Heat jersey
Yeah.
with a suntan.
I'm like shivering. I'm like, I don't know where to go.
No.
I'm looking for a place called Clark Hall, but like, you've not been on a military base. There's no signs. It doesn't tell you where to go. So this guy.
I'm sure people are super friendly and willing to help you out. Right?
Yeah, I think I found the one friendly person because. He's like, "Get in the car now," and I was like, "All right." Like I know you're taught not to do that when you grow up, but I thought I was gonna die of frostbite, so I got in. He gave me his jacket. Still don't know the guy's name. He gave me his jacket. He dropped me off. He's like, "Keep that thing so you don't die."
Yeah.
Good luck, kid.
Wow.
And he drove away.
That's gotta be the nicest soul.
Yeah, seriously. I met lots of guys after that who would not do that.
That would definitely not do that. All right, so what was like your first day at boot camp when was that like a shock to the system, like? As a civilian growing up in Miami,
Yeah, it's like it's intended to be a shock.
Yeah.
They do this thing called like a shark attack. Where I got on a plane from Miami to Atlanta, and then you drive in buses from Atlanta to Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay.
And it's like an hour-ish, I think. And up till then, they're still being kind of nice to you.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And then like once you get off the bus in Fort Benning, Georgia, it's game on.
Yeah. They just don't want you to leave the bus.
I think they literally don't want you to run away in the airport. Exactly. Like that's what they're trying to do,
Yeah. They stroke you a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. So you get there and you get off the bus, and it's similar to what you see in movies. Like just everyone's screaming at you. It's happening from like 9 different directions. Right. You're like, I don't know what's happening. Why are you angry?
Wow.
They're making you run everywhere and carry your bags, and you're dropping them. And of course you're dropping them because you're scared. So they yell at you for dropping them. And that happens for probably a good hour.
Yeah.
And then it actually way lamer than it sounds. You sit on a bench for like 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't get to sleep. You get yelled at if you sleep.
Oh my god.
Where they like shave your head, they give you a bunch of vaccinations, and they give you this stupid little book to read, but no one's reading it because
you're exhausted.
And you're exhausted, and you
can't think clearly.
You're like, what mistake did I make in my life? What's happening? And that's a place called 30th AG. That's like your in processing.
Okay.
Any infantryman who listens to this is gonna know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just hell. It's just enough time to be like, why did I do this?
Right.
Like I need to get out of this now.
Yeah, and you can't.
No, they don't.
Obviously, you can't be like, oh, this is not for me. I'm gonna quit the army.
Yeah,
like you can't.
That
quit
is not
the
the
army.
case. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, like I had a similar experience in the police academy where the drill instructors would do that sort of, they swarm you, make you hold your gear bag.
Yep.
But in the back of my mind, I could quit.
Anytime
I want. I can go home. It's a little different with you guys.
It's funny that Shannon and I talk about that. Shannon here at the gym, we both admit this. Like, I know people are like, oh, I'm so tough. Like, whatever, dude. If they'd given us a chance to quit, I absolutely would.
Me too.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
I hated it so much. I was like, I'm so scared. I'm such a sissy. I want out of this so bad.
Yeah, honestly, I remember literally calling my mom after my first day of the academy.
Same.
Yeah, and like, Mom, I can't do this. She's like, give it a month, and then quit. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I don't think we got the call until we'd been there for about a week and a half. Right? And we only got phone calls like so often. 100%. I'm on a payphone crying like a little baby. Like, Mommy!
Yep. It's funny how that works. Oh man, so you made it through boot camp and everything. Yep. You and then you get out and then you go and obviously into Iraq, right? So what was that experience all about?
It was interesting, obviously. I had a really weird way to get there. When I talked to other vets, I didn't know this was weird until many years later. When I talked to other guys and girls who've been deployed, this is not the way. Like I said, I was graduated in May. Yeah. Got to basic in June. Went to airborne school right afterwards, and then I was in Iraq in November.
Wow, so you were in airborne. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Cool.
So generally what you do is you go to your unit and you train up for a while. And you learn the people around you. You get to know your unit, your leaders.
And is that like the guys that you're with for during the whole
usually
time?
Yeah, not always, but usually, right? Yeah. So it's really common to go to that unit and have somewhere between 3 and 9 months, sometimes a year, sometimes more, and then that unit goes and deploys together, right?
Okay, that's good. So you guys know each other. You know how each other operate.
Yeah. So go back to that first night on Fort Drum that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
There were 3 of us who got dropped off. Apparently, these guys knew how to get there. They were waiting on me. 3 of us are at Drum in the in-processing place. The guy who's on charge that night is looking at us and he tells us to pick a number. It's between 1 and 3. And he points to somebody and they say 3, and he points to me and I say 2. Yeah. Last guy goes 1, and he goes, all right, you're good, you're going to Iraq next month.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Wow. You don't want to lose that game, I don't think.
No. So I got attached to a unit that was already deployed.
God. So you're the new guy.
Yeah, well, so what happened was I was on this thing called rear detachment. It's like a very small amount of that unit that stays back in America to kind of keep the unit going. Yeah. I was there for 2.5 weeks probably, just enough time to get my uniforms, fill out life insurance and a bunch of stuff like that, Right. And then I got deployed. So I met up with my unit in Iraq. Yeah. And what was wild is that they had all been together for a long time.
Yeah, so they bonded.
Yeah, so I was the new guy by a lot.
Yeah.
By a lot. Not a couple weeks. I think the next newest person before me had been 9+ months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So I got there and I think it's fair to say that nobody really gave a shit about me at the beginning.
Yeah, you had to pay your dues.
Dude, I just ran. And usually that happens in America. Yeah. Where afterwards you can go, cry yourself to sleep with a can of beer or something.
That's true. Yeah. Rough day at the office.
For me, it was happening in between patrols, which is pretty rough. Wow. But it was cool because I can't imagine a forcing function that would make me develop as fast as that did,
Yeah, that kind of trial by fire
kind
of thing.
Literally. I had no choice but to develop. So.
Right, because obviously as the new guy, they're going to give you all the worst details, these worst assignments. You're gonna earn your keep over there.
100%.
Until somebody else comes and takes your place as the new guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And the shitty part was there was no new guy coming.
Yeah.
So... you're not supposed to get people when you're deployed,
Right.
Yeah, the reality is we had a bunch of deaths and people get hurt, so it's our unit was now missing significant chunks of bodies,
Right.
They had to backfill. I got to be one of those lucky guys who backfilled.
Backfill, right? And now, all right. So now you're in the service and everything, and then you. How long have you in Iraq? How long have you been in until you made like rank as like you. I remember you retired as a sergeant.
Staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's an E6.
E6. Okay.
So my first deployment, I did my entire first deployment, and I still wasn't eligible for promotion because like I'd been in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it's this really weird situation where we all came back from the first deployment, and now I've like kind of like earned my keep.
Yeah, you got the experience.
Right. Yeah. But everybody else who I'm with was at a significantly higher rank. So we get back, and I'm the same rank as like our cherries, our brand new people,
Yeah.
And there's always these weird situations where like the new cherries are getting like yelled at, and I don't think we can say the word hazed, but they're getting fucked with. And, I'm the same rank as them, and they're like, "Why isn't he?" And they're like, "You shut up!"
Because he doesn't have to. He's been through this shit.
But I'm always in that awkward situation where I'm like, I don't know how to act with this. It was really strange because I was a private still.
That's got to be is that hard, like as a military guy? So you go through that deployment, you do your tour of duty, and you're like an E6, but somebody that goes through like West Point or something, and they come out as an officer, and now you've been through 3 years in combat in Iraq, and you got to listen to this guy who just graduated college. Is that how is that like?
Yeah, it's funny. I have different thoughts now than I did then.
Okay.
Right. So like when I was a lower enlisted guy, so I was like a private, a specialist, or even maybe like a brand new sergeant. I had the exact thought you're thinking, like these stupid cherry lieutenants. Like I don't listen to this dumb college kid. Although I was the same age as them. That's not normal. Usually the sergeants are much older, but I was so young that like I was a sergeant when I was 20 and I was a staff sergeant when I was 22.
Wow.
And usually those people are like 25 and 32. Like those are those ages.
Yeah.
So me and the lieutenants were generally around the same age. But as I got older and then I got a little more experience with like my leadership, and I went to some leadership schools myself, and I had to learn how to manage between 9 and 30 people, soldiers myself. I realized like the lieutenants are taught a totally different skill set.
Yeah.
Like they're taught a skill set that most of the enlisted guys, which is what I was, I wouldn't say they're not able to learn, but they're not interested in it. They're not set up to learn it.
Right.
They're missing some of the basic principles like literacy and
right.
math. So, like I think the system works when the officers are also taught, basic like humility.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, like the best officers I ever had were not West Point people.
Right.
Right. They were usually guys who joined the Army. I say guys because in the infantry we only had males. Guys who joined the Army usually with some sense of altruism or honestly a lot of them who just wanted to find a way to pay for college.
Yeah. The GI Bill.
Yeah, right. And they were like, all right, I'm here. I'm gonna do my best at this.
Yeah.
It was not generally the guys who like came from a family of officers.
Right.
Who were like, my dad said I need to be a lieutenant.
Steeped in tradition.
Yeah. Not to say they all suck, but those dudes usually sucked.
Yeah, I remember reading a book once about Colonel Hackworth, and staff sergeant. He's now promoted to lieutenant. This guy went through the Korean War, as a grunt and everything, and he gets a battlefield commission and all these other stuff. And he's a lieutenant now, and he meets his commanding officer. He says, "You see that staff sergeant? He runs the ship, not you. You ask him how to run your squad." And I guess that's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The most effective lieutenants, and then after that, the most effective like XOs and company commanders I ever met were like, all right, these enlisted guys are my assets.
Yeah.
Like not all of them, but the majority of them come with like serious qualified skill sets that I can be more effective with if I use.
Yeah.
The worst ones were like, I went to college, so I'm smarter than you. Shut up and listen to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they didn't usually last very long.
And generally in life, they don't really last too long.
Yeah, they didn't last very long. They got what's called laterally promoted.
Okay.
Away from places they could put people in danger.
Yeah, back in the rear with the rear, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that where you developed your fitness, like your love of fitness in the military?
Yeah. Funny enough, like I said, I didn't play any sports or anything growing up.
Yeah.
Right. So I was in really bad shape when I joined the Army. I was a very pudgy. I was exactly what you think a pudgy video game kid is.
Wow. Yeah. It's hard to envision that.
Well, I'll be honest, man. Like I got in kind of good shape during basic.
Yeah.
And then even on my first deployment, we didn't eat like well at all, and we didn't really work out at all. We just moved a lot because we were out doing like walking patrols in 100-degree weather all the time.
Right.
So when I got back, I missed that when I got back from my first deployment, I hadn't developed that understanding of like, oh, I need to be in good shape all the time.
Yeah.
So my first year or two back in what we call garrison, which is like the regular world, I was not in good shape. I was in really bad shape. It actually got me in a lot of trouble.
No kidding.
Often, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I just missed the point in the military because I guess because of what my path had been, where like that should have been beaten into me.
Yeah.
Like I missed that.
Right.
So it wasn't until I'd been in like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 years. I actually had one officer who I became really good friends with.
Yeah.
Pennington, if you listen to this is all you, buddy. He just shamed the shit out of me.
Wow. Yeah.
He was like,
sometimes you need a friend like that.
but that was the deal. Like I knew it came. He wasn't like, not because he thought he was better or I was bad.
It wasn't vindictive.
Yeah, he believed that I should be better.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you're right. Like, how am I going to try to pretend like be this good soldier or even worse, be a good leader and like not be in good shape when our job literally relies on us not getting killed because we're in good shape.
Right, and not only does your life depend on it, but your buddy's life.
Yeah, right. And around that time, I can't remember if I don't know if this is an original thought or if somebody in our group did. I can't remember where, but we kind of adapted the idea like, okay, so like we are professional athletes who shoot people, right? Like we have to train that way.
Right.
We can't be in just good enough shape. Like, we have to be in really good shape all the time.
Exactly.
Like that has to be just taken off the board.
Yeah.
You can't be in the NBA and not be in good shape.
Exactly. Yeah. You're getting paid all that money. You got to be on point.
Yeah. We weren't being paid a whole lot of money, but we didn't want to.
No, I was talking about basketball players, not the military.
But we didn't want to die, so that's like a good motivator too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, that's probably an even better motivator, I think, when bullets are coming down range.
So I found CrossFit shortly after that, and then that was probably where like the love of it came from.
Yeah, and I think like especially at that time, CrossFit was definitely geared towards like military first responders. A lot of people that are looking for that extra kind of edge, that intensity.
Yeah, like it was definitely trying to be that.
Yeah,
it was trying to be like we're too elite for you.
Right. Yeah,
and you find some infantry dudes who are in their 20s, and you're like, that's cocaine, man. Right. You're like, we're too good for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's for sure. You see some of those cats, man. So all right, so and then now your next tour of duty. Now now you're kind of developing that love of fitness. Now you're getting back in shape. Which, by the way, I saw a picture of you. Somebody posted, maybe it was you, when you were a kid at this concert, right? And I'm looking at this picture. I'm like, he just looks like a punk kid. And then I'm thinking in my head, he just served like 8 years in Iraq or something.
Yeah, that was after all that. Yeah, that was after I was getting out of the army when I took that picture.
Wow, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, my second deployment, I was 21.
Yeah.
21, and then turned 22 when I got back. So up to that point, I'd done like 2.5 years in Iraq before I was 22, and this time was different because I was now in like a leadership position.
Yeah.
And tell you what, I haven't told many people about this. I got in trouble on that deployment. I got into a real big argument with the guy in charge of me. I think the most honest answer I can give is like I was too immature to be in the position I was in.
Okay.
He was probably too immature to be in the position he was in.
Yeah.
And you put those two things together, and we did not.
Right.
Neither of us handled ourselves well. Although I'll take all the responsibility. That's my fault there. I got moved. I got fired from my position. I got moved to a different company.
Oh wow.
And then I had to take a lower position from what I had just been. And that was like a massive ego hit.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
Because up until that point, man, I was 21 and I was a squad leader in the infantry, which is like you're God as a squad leader in the infantry.
And you're responsible for not only the men, but you're responsible for all the equipment.
Yep. Yeah. And then I now had to take a step down and become a team leader again. Yeah. And I remember I get like itchy when I think about it. I'm like, that's like major shameful for me. But like,
I get that cringe feeling.
I
know that feeling so well.
but I honestly think it's like the best thing that's ever happened in my life.
Yeah.
Because it just like totally changed my mentality on everything.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what? It sounded like you grew up in the military. Like basically, it's what.
Yeah.
Kind of shaped who you are right now.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. Yep.
That's good. All right. So now, fast forward. You're out of the military now. When did you meet Stephanie, first of all?
Jesus.
Because you guys seem like you guys seem like two peas in a pod.
30 years ago?
30 years ago, right? Was it like after the military or?
I was still in.
You're still in? Okay.
Yeah, I was still in. I moved to Cape Coral when I was still in the Army.
Okay.
I got detailed out as a recruiter.
Yeah.
When you're in the Army, when you get to a certain rank, you have to go be a recruiter or a drill sergeant you don't really have a choice. You just get stuck as one of them.
Hmm.
Luckily, I got the one that takes me to Florida, not
Yeah.
to Oklahoma.
Oh wow, like that was your other option? Was like
Oh yeah, like none of the basic training places are nice places.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was still a recruiter, or I was still in, but I was a recruiter. So I was kind of like living a somewhat normal life as a person here.
Huh. Were you like stationed in like Fort Myers? Or
yeah,
like...
I was literally stationed in Cape Coral.
Oh, right in Cape Coral. Oh wow, that's cool.
I worked in Fort Myers and Port Charlotte and Naples.
Yeah. Oh wow. So you're kind of bouncing around a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're definitely you had a good pick as far as
location.
Goes.
So we met and started dating in like 2014, I think.
Oh, no kidding.
Something like that.
Would she come down here to visit or?
She moved down here for work. We
okay. So she lived down here because I know she's originally from New Jersey.
Yeah. Sadly,
she moved down.
You dirty Jersey people.
You dirty Jersey. So she moves down here, then you guys meet up and.
Yeah. Things were great. We split up for a little bit. I got out of the Army.
That's normal for young folks.
I think I matured a fair amount in a short period of time. And then we got back together, and it's been like, I don't know, 20 years since then or something.
Yeah, that's I mean, when me and Lori were dating when we were younger years, we broke up a couple times. Like that happens.
Yeah.
You get it out of your system, right? I'm glad that you guys got back though, because you guys are making a great pair. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it's great that you convinced Stephanie to do Shark Fit.
Only took us 7 years to do it.
That's right.
So,
yeah, 7. I know. I remember seeing like Stephanie come in and doing yoga and stuff. I'm like, she'd be really great on that rig. I bet she could bang out those chest to bar pull-ups whenever she wants, And she took to it like a duck.
Yeah, only took 7 years. I'm really glad she's doing it now.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so you guys are dating, and then you move in together, and then you adopt Wiz and Penny, right?
Yep.
And then you got the 2 turtles now, Pamplemousse and Tangerine.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you got yourself a nice little family here.
Yeah. So we got Penny together, right?
Yeah.
But funny, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I got Wiz well before I met Steph when I first moved down here.
Yeah.
I got Wiz the first week I moved to Cape Coral.
Okay.
I didn't have a house yet.
Yeah.
So I was sneaking him in under my shirt to the Holiday Inn on Del Prado.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I was living at the Holiday Inn on Del Prado.
No kidding.
And sneaking my little wiener dog Wizard
oh
under my
God.
shirt. Yeah,
that's funny.
I can't believe they let me take that dog.
Yeah, really. Jeez, how old is Wiz now?
I don't know. I adopted him. They said he was around 3.
Okay.
So I've had him for 8+ years now.
Wow.
So
okay.
he's an old man. He's got the gray everywhere.
Looks good.
He's about to lose some teeth.
Yeah. My dog's at that point.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Hey, listen, we're giving him good life.
He still acts like a puppy though. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got 2 dogs of my own, and they both act like puppies.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get a turtle or 2. Who knows?
Dude, they're cool. They're
I
sulcata tortoises. They're so cool.
Yeah.
They're gonna outlive me by.
Yeah,
a
they
lot.
are right. They're gonna live like 100 years or something.
As long as we do everything right, they're gonna live old enough for my grandkids to have.
Wow, yeah, you're gonna have to will that out to your
kids.
Let's talk about some outside interest now. So I know just from seeing just from knowing you as a friend here, you love Universal Studios.
I do. I love Universal. Best place on earth.
Yeah, you're a Batman fan.
Yes, I am.
Right. So I have to ask you as a personal question, what's your favorite Batman character? Val Kilmer, Ben Affleck.
It's Christian Bale for me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's the one I was looking for.
Yeah,
Christian Bale. Yeah.
I know that's a function of like my age, but those movies are so good.
Yeah, I was gonna say with me it was either Val Kilmer or Christian Bale would be my favorite Batman.
Val Kilmer was good. I like, from what I can think of, I like all of them.
Yeah.
But the 3 Christian Bale movies, man, that's like peak movie making.
It seems like whatever Christian Bale does is gold.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
He's just a great actor. Yeah. And then obviously Heath Ledger has to be like the best Joker in the world, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just retire the character, bro. It's not.
Yeah, you're
honestly
not gonna beat
after that.
Yeah, nobody's gonna beat Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I don't really want anyone to overdose on drugs to be that good at it again.
You're right,
so
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was really into that character.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Right, and you're into Harry Potter. You
I am.
went up to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The next time you go up to Universal, there's a new roller coaster.
The Velocicoaster, man. I can't wait. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we may have to go maybe make a pilgrimage up to Universal.
Absolutely, dude. Universal is the best place on earth. When I was on leave from Iraq, my first deployment, I went. I could go anywhere. The military would fly us anywhere. I flew to Orlando.
Yeah.
For Universal.
For Universal, you can go anywhere, anywhere you want.
Like 5 days after the Harry Potter land opened up.
That's great.
So I'm sitting in like 5.5 hour lines.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is the best part of my life. This is so fantastic.
So that's why Mike wants you to get the Fast Pass.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. That's cool. And now you're also a huge comic book fan.
I am. Yeah, that's for sure.
So like, what comics are you reading now?
I'm majorly, so for people who don't know, I have literally Batman and Joker tattooed on my arm. I'm mostly a Marvel fan.
Yeah, Marvel.
Right? X-Men.
Yeah.
I really like X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men's awesome. Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know comics, the reason X-Men is so cool is it's really just like an allegory for like discrimination, right? Yeah. So and like inclusion, like so people who are different feeling like they're different and trying to be welcomed into it, right? And,
right. Is that Marvel or DC?
That's Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
DC is trash except for Batman. So,
okay, good to know. Good to know.
I actually found this really cool app on my iPad. It's called Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
Right, so it has every Marvel comic on there.
All right.
It's like $10 a month.
No kidding.
You can just read them on your iPad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, I might have to. You know what? I'm gonna actually put that on.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing from about 1 to 2:30 every morning.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. When do you find time to sleep? Like, what is like honestly like? When do you stop moving? Like. What time does your day start usually?
It varies.
Yeah.
I set my first alarm for like 7:30. If I'm not coaching any morning classes, I set it for like 7:30.
Yeah.
And I hit snooze about 300 times.
Right.
And then I get up around 8 something usually. Yeah. I usually don't go to bed till probably 1 or 2.
Yeah. Wow. I could see that. I could see you doing that. Yeah. So you only need like maybe 5 hours of sleep or so.
All right. So I used to only sleep like 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
Right, because of the Army.
Yeah.
Funny. This isn't like a shameless plug. With Katie, when we started doing the nutrition program, one of the tricks was I had to start sleeping more.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to pay attention to your sleep.
Yeah. So like the increase from like 3 hours to like 5.5, 6 hours. Massive improvement. I lost a ton of fat and I got in way better shape.
Right.
Like almost out of nowhere because literally just that.
Right. Your body just needs rest.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm ever going to be like a 9-hour night sleeper. But
yeah, I can never be that either, but I do like a good solid 7.
It does feel good when you get it. Yeah.
So you're running around. You have 3 gyms. You have one here in the Cape, one here in Fort Myers, one in Naples. And then you're also running the Sharks.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the season with the grid season in there. How does that work?
So the Sharks, the South of Florida Sharks, is a semi-professional team, right? Of guys and girls, where we compete against other teams around the state of Florida.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And we compete in like weightlifting, gymnastics, track and field style stuff.
Yeah.
Really just like feats of athleticism.
Right.
Kind of broken up into like these strategic races,
Okay, yeah.
And each one's different, so it would take a long time to explain each one.
But it's easy to follow because it's like a grid pattern.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Literally, the grid is like 4 blocks.
Yeah.
That go down the rig. And what's cool about them is that they're just really fun to watch. Right. It's like take CrossFit or other like functional fitness style. Like Olympic weightlifting is really cool.
Yeah.
Really boring to watch.
Right. It is.
In my opinion, CrossFit is really boring to watch.
It is. Yeah. Right? It's tough to watch somebody do 1,000,000 burpees.
Dude, I don't want to watch anyone do 50 burpees for time or 180 GHDs
or
whatever. Like I don't want any of that crap.
Yeah.
But what they do is really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Grid took a lot of that stuff and turned it into a fun, watchable, competitive sport.
Yeah, like a race. Yep.
Yeah, they're literally races. Yeah. So my team is trying to beat your team, and we're both on the grid at the same time.
Yeah. I know, like because of the whole because of coronavirus, you guys had a very brief season. Like it was a 1 day, but you had multiple matches.
Yeah, well, it was actually 2 days. We just weren't very good this year, so we only had 1 day.
So you only had 1 day.
But yeah, normally it's over the course of a couple months. Like this year coming up, it's probably. Hope I don't get in trouble for saying this on the podcast. Probably like May to October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
It's coming up pretty soon. Yeah.
That's great. So that's gonna be a long season.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Well, you're gonna have to get prepared for that. Get that. Yeah. Get the.
I gotta start doing some more double touches. I haven't touched them since the tournament.
We're gonna have to see some butterfly muscle ups out of you soon.
I gotta test the stability of the ceiling out here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so now that you're out of the military and everything, what decided what made you decide to become a gym owner? So you're out of the military, you're working out, you're discovering your love of functional fitness and everything, but you could have went anywhere. As a lot of military guys go to firefighters or police and everything, you could have gone anything. You decided gym ownership. So what was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, like a lot of my friends, like you said, became cops or firefighters when they got out, and I don't know why. That just didn't really appeal to me. Like, I kind of felt like I'd done that already.
Yeah.
Not that they're all the same, just like whatever box that checks, I felt like I had checked that box already.
Right.
And I was looking for something that was fun where I could help people.
Right.
You know? Like, my job literally for most of 8 years was to shoot other people, train other people to shoot other people, and not get shot by those other people, you know?
Yeah, that can wear you down.
Yeah, so I was definitely looking for something not in that realm, you know?
Right.
So I found CrossFit. I was like, this is really fun.
Yeah.
I like doing this. It's like it became a recreational thing for me too. Not just like, oh, I need to be in good shape, but I looked forward to going to the gym.
It's your social system too.
Yeah. When I first moved down here, one of the first people I met was Shannon Burns.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too. It's like hasn't gone away since. But we became really good friends right away. We realized we had mutual connections from the Army.
Yeah.
And he and I had always made jokes. We went to a different gym at the time. We always made jokes about opening up our own gym.
Yeah.
We called it CrossFit Animal House. Yeah. But like honestly, we had no idea what we were talking about. We didn't we couldn't have done it ourselves.
Right.
We said
both, young guys.
Yeah, we were too young. We were too stupid. We didn't understand how any of it worked.
Right.
You know? But we knew we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And then our friends Abba and Nicole, who one of them had been coaches at the gym we were going to. We heard through the grapevine that he was thinking about opening up a gym. You know, I can actually remember where I was when I found out. Because about 15 minutes later, I called him.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, man, like, I don't really understand what you're doing, but I want to be a part of it."
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, it's like Shannon and I want to do this, but we also understand that we don't have any idea how to do this.
Right. So he's gonna be like a mentor to it.
Yeah. You know, he was like, how do I get involved? And at the time, I like offered money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what I was doing. I had no money. But I was just trying to like make myself seem appealing. You know, like how can I get involved in this?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need money. We're good. But if you guys want to coach, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
So that was how we did it. And then we kind of started the first CrossFit Cape Coral over like a 6-month period behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was really cool. And then like as we were doing that, became very apparent to me basically from back in 2013 at this point. I was like, I love this. This is what I want to be doing.
So 2013 is when you guys started talking about like.
Yeah,
really, like,
I'm sure the process actually started before I was involved with it, but like that's when 2013 was when it started, and we opened officially January 2014.
So yeah, a little over 8 years. A lot has happened.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
So now that you're coaching for ABBA and everything, you decide eventually a slot opens up for you and Shannon to buy the business. Now how old were you and Shannon at the time when you decided?
Man, that's hard to remember.
Yeah. It's probably like late 20s, I would imagine.
Yeah, so I was like 24 probably when the gym started.
Okay, well,
23, 24.
Damn, you guys were young.
Yeah, Shannon's a year older than me because he's really old.
Yeah,
so,
he's definitely old. You can see in his eyes.
See it.
Yeah.
1,000-yard stare. So, but like when Abba and Nicole and I talked, it was I had always wanted to become a part owner of the gym.
Yeah.
And the plan we had at the time and definitely developed over time was like when they were done, I was taking over. Like there wasn't really a question about it.
Right,
you know?
right.
And that was something that the three of us had known, you know, going on at least 2014, 2015, you know, like, so they decided, understandably, that, you know, they wanted to move on and try other things in life.
Yeah.
I was at a point where I definitely needed a new challenge,
right.
You know,
Yeah.
And Shannon and I decided like, hey, we're ready. Let's do it.
Yeah. Great.
It was cool. We were really happy to do it. Yeah. I'm really thankful for the time that Abba and Nicole were here and all the stuff they started. You know?
Yeah, it sounds like they really kind of took you under their wing and kind of really showed you the ropes.
Yeah, I mean, and they set a really good platform for us to build from. You know,
yeah.
Like, there's no way to know this. I don't think I could have started any of this myself.
Right.
I'll be completely honest about that. I don't think I could have.
Yeah, you would need some sort of direction.
Yeah,
obviously.
right.
Yeah. So when you're owning the gym, were you going to school at the same time, or did you have your college before you started started your gym ownership?
So I graduated college in 2017.
Okay.
So the gym had been going for a while.
Yeah.
So there was a while where I was still in the Army.
Yeah.
And I was pretending that I was out doing my recruiting duties, but I was actually at the gym coaching.
Yeah. Hey, you're recruiting at the gym.
Yeah. It wasn't successful, but I was saying I was. That was probably the last year I was in the Army. Then I got out and went to college like the next day, FGCU.
Yeah, you didn't waste any time.
Nope.
Right here. Oh, so right, yeah, right here.
Yeah, in Fort Myers.
Florida Gulf Coast. Yeah.
And so I was coaching at the gym. I was in classes. I was doing clinical work for my degree.
Yeah.
And I was working at Joe's liquor store.
Joe Frank.
So I could pay rent.
Yeah, so let's talk about that degree. So, you were going into
athletic training.
Athletic training.
Yeah.
So which fits the bill for obviously owning your own gym. You want to have some sort of athletic training background. So.
Yeah, and athletic training is, hopefully I don't get sued for saying this, it's basically physical therapy for athletes, right? So it's rehab and exercise principles for athletic individuals.
Corrective movement.
Yep, exactly.
Like that. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. So what was getting your like? How hard was it to get that degree? Like, was it a walk in the park for you? Did you really have?
No, it was really hard.
Yeah,
it was really hard because I had taken some college classes in the Army that I didn't take very seriously.
Right. Like online classes.
Yeah, right. And I'd gotten C's because that's all you needed to pass. And that really affected my GPA.
Right.
And this program only let in like 18 people per year, I think, and had like 100 plus applicants every year.
Right.
If I remember correctly, I was the 18th person in based on GPA.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, while we were in school, I had probably 20 hours a week in class. Another 20, 25 hours a week in clinicals. Yeah. Well, in clinicals for that being like I was out working on the field or I was in physical therapy clinics.
Right.
And then coaching also.
Yeah.
And then working at that liquor store. So school sucked. It was hard.
Yeah, you didn't exactly get to enjoy your school.
No,
I
didn't get that college experience.
Yeah. No frat party. I mean, I'm sure maybe a couple, but
yeah. I mean, I met some really awesome people that I still keep in touch with. Yeah. But aside from them, school sucked.
Yeah.
I would not recommend it for most people.
Yeah, it's like we're on the same page with a lot of things.
Yeah. Man,
that's why it's taken me 30 years to go to college.
Having done it now, I feel pretty confident saying, like, public education is a pretty big scam.
Yeah, I'm so glad you feel that way as my employer because I don't really want to finish up my degree.
Yeah, no, you're good, man.
My degree in criminal justice really isn't going to carry over very well right now.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it definitely helped me, right? But just having been in college, been around a lot of other people, I feel like I can confidently say that it is a massive scam now.
Right. Yeah. So all right, so now let's go back to the gym ownership. So now you and Shannon are now gym owners, and where is the first gym that you guys are operating out of?
So we were in this building. We were here.
Oh, right here.
The one we call now Shark Bite Cape Coral. At the time, it was called CrossFit Cape Coral.
All right.
And it was funny, but there's a lot of really funny things that happened right at the beginning. Like for one, I had been trying to get Nicole and Abba to let me do more stuff as we were kind of like moving mentally and emotionally towards the transition time,
Right. Branching out into other departments.
But just like in the gym, just like I wanted more responsibility in the gym. Yeah, and they were doing a good job of letting me try those and teach me those. But like I definitely thought I did more than I did.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing a higher percentage of the work that needed to be done. And then once they were no longer part of it, I was like, oh shit. You tell me payroll's got to be done every 2 weeks?
Yeah. right.
Or, just like so many little things like that.
All the unfun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why that's why I have zero urge to ever own a gym. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because I have all the fun of coaching.
Yeah.
And none of that hassle of gym ownership and all that stuff I see you going through.
Yeah, we had so many situations where we were like, oh, we have to do this? Yeah. I had no idea this. You have to do what with the city? I didn't know. Yeah.
Oh, insurance?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It must have been a learning experience for
Yeah, because neither of us have any business background.
Right. Yeah, you and Shannon are jumping out of planes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not exactly carryover skills.
Right. Yeah, and eventually you become the sole operator.
Yep.
Shannon is still a military guy.
He's pursuing some military goals.
He's pursuing some outside interests. Obviously, one of our most loved athletes here.
Mm-hmm. He's all right.
He's okay. Yeah. I can say he become a civilian.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, you have your mentor Abba and everything, but now that Abba's gone and now it's just you running the show. Like, how do you come up with like all the first of all, where do you get your drive from? Like, are you like just drinking caffeine from morning till night? Because like I've come in contact with a lot of people that say, yeah, I want to do this. And then I'm like, oh, cool. And then you never hear about it again, But when you're like, man, like a good example, the quarantine.
Yeah.
I remember you called me up once, and maybe 2 weeks we're into quarantine. I'm about to lose my mind, and I'm literally sitting in my driveway watching lovebirds on the telephone pole humping each other because that's all I could do in quarantine. And I remember you calling me right then, and you're like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'll be honest with you, Nick. I'm kind of losing my mind." And you're like, "How about we fix up the gym?" I'm like, "Cool. When?" How about like right now? You want to run to Lowe's and pick up a shit ton of paint? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And You know what? Just the fact like you're like, all right, I want to do this, or like, hey, guys, I want to do a podcast, and I'm like, oh, well, that's really neat, Nick. You know, but like I knew like you're gonna do it, and literally the next day, like, let's do a podcast. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, where do you get this drive from? Like this drive, this planning and executing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people plan. A lot of people don't execute that plan.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. It sounds really dumb. I just really like doing things.
You just do it, man. Yeah, you're just. Yeah.
I remember one time when we were building CrossFit Cape Coral up into what eventually Shark Bite would be. Kelly told me one time, she was like, I just like when you say things, I guess we're just doing them. Like I don't like assume it's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, like I learned that early on.
Yeah, I try to be really judicious with that too, right? Like people who are like pie in the sky planners kind of frustrate me.
Yes.
You know. Yeah. So I'd love to say about 1,000 on this, but I don't. I try not to talk about a thing publicly. When I say publicly, I mean like to you guys, to you,
put it out in the universe.
Yeah. I try not to do that until I'm like, all right, I've already weighed the risks and benefit. Like, is this a thing I want to do? Because if if I just brought up every idea I had, Slack would never stop ringing on your phone.
I'm actually developing that same sense with it, and I think you're the reason. Like, I'll get this idea in my head, but I'll wait a week before I put it out there. You know? And like in a week's time, you kind of know like, well, that was a really dumb idea. You know, I'm not going to do that. Or, hey, man, you know, this has some traction. Let's kind of explore this, you know? So, like, kind of sitting on that idea a bit.
You know where I just realized that right now. But you know where I think I got that idea from? It was from tattoos, right? I had a rule. Like, if I wanted a new tattoo, I had to want it 6 months later. Right?
Good call.
And the only ones I don't like are the ones I didn't do that with. Yeah. You know? So, like, I try to do that with a plan. Like, I'll have, like, a running document on my computer or my phone, and it'll have, like, a million ideas, you know? And then 2 weeks later, I'll look back at it and I'll be like, well, that was stupid. Like, I'm glad I didn't tell anyone about that one. Exactly. And if I feel different, if I'm like, man, I'm still super passionate about this, I'm like, all right, now it's time to talk to Chris about this. Time to talk to Christy about this, to Josh, to someone who wants to dive into this.
Right. Yeah. And, and it seems like a lot of the staff members do want to dive into it. Yeah. We're all on board with it, which, you know what I think it is that most of us as human beings, we love the idea of a new challenge, you know, or a new project. Whether it succeeds or fails, let's try it out, you know?
I heard a really smart person say this one time. He said, the highest level employees want highest level challenges.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's compensated. Everybody like is motivated different ways, you know, whether that be like through financial compensation or intrinsic motivation or whatever. But I find the people who work best here, like at Shark Bite, are like that. They want challenges.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like you want challenges. Katie wants challenges. People want me to be like, hey, dude, like we're gonna go build this house.
Right.
And rather than me saying like, do everything this way, I'm like, this is how I want the house built. Let's find a way to do it.
Exactly. Like in quarantine, when like I'm like, where's he getting all these ideas from? He's like, all right, guys, you know, we're going to, we're going to pivot. 1 hour class is going to be a half hour, so we can get more people in safely. I'm like, good idea, Nick. I didn't think about that. And then, all right, guys, we're going to go virtual. I'm like, I have no idea what that's about, Nick, but I'm going to give it a shot. I can't promise you if I'm going to keep the same amount of people that we start with.
You did a great job, man.
Thank you, man.
A lot of the coaches did.
I think everybody
really surprised me how well everybody did.
And another funny point in that quarantine is the videos that we would put out. I remember, like, obviously, like, video of me with my unicorn head on, video of you working out in your underwear.
Every day, man. Every day. I protested pants for the quarantine. So.
That was awesome. I wish I protested something in quarantine.
No pants. No pants.
No pants.
I was trying to get MeUndies to sponsor me.
Yeah.
They responded to a couple Instagram DMs, but they wouldn't say yes. I tried so hard, dude.
That was awesome. What did your neighbors say about that?
I got some weird looks.
Did you?
Yeah, because me and Steph were working out in our driveway, and we gave out all of our equipment.
Yeah.
At the time, both gyms here in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
So the only things I had were a dumbbell, a wall ball, an echo bike because I broke my toe.
Yes. Doing a muscle up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had a yoke.
Yeah.
That I manufactured into a place to do pull-ups and muscle-ups, and it's not made for someone my big to do that, as big as me to do that. So we had just like this random crap out in the driveway all the time.
Yeah.
And our neighbors would sometimes come out and be like, "What the hell is going on?"
You see for sale signs around.
Yeah. We have this really nice older woman who lives next door to us, and she would sit there and just stare at us. And I can't imagine what was going through her mind. Like, right. All the things she's seen in her life. She's like Joe Carey's age. She's probably like, "What are these kids doing?"
She's just waiting to meet her Jesus. Yeah. There's Nick and Stephanie out there. Nick's wearing skivvies. Doing handstand push-ups against a palm tree.
Yeah.
So Floridian.
Yes. There's some cool videos in for it.
Yeah. So, all right. So now fast forward a little bit. So you went from CrossFit Cape Coral, which this is our sole location here.
Yep.
And then you decide, hey, we're going to branch out and open up a new gym. And I remember the staff meeting that you had. It was, hey, guys, good news. We're opening up a new gym in Fort Myers. And this was literally a month before quarantine, right? Yep. So you're like, hey, because we're opening up in Fort Myers, we're going to change the name of our gym. It's going to be now under the brand of Sharkbait. And wow, what a huge gamble, because then we ended up opening up Naples too, all under the umbrella of Sharkbait. So let's talk about that decision process, about how you decided, A, one gym's not enough for me, and two, the rebranding altogether.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. So the CrossFit Cape Coral, which we had been for a really long time, was very fun, and it was cool, and it was a lot of things to a lot of people, right? Yeah. But it was also not a lot of things. Like it didn't fit into a lot of the things we were trying to do, right? So some of those examples are like Sober Sunday, right? Yeah. Trying to work with people in recovery, trying to work with older populations, right? Offering nutrition coaching, like working with new moms in our diapers and dumbbells program. We wanted to do a bunch of things that weren't quote unquote CrossFit. Yeah. And CrossFit has like a scary connotation to it.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I remember in the beginning, most of it was a badge of honor. If you ripped your hands, if your muscle contents exploded all of its contents into your bloodstream, that was a cool badge of honor called rhabdomyolysis. And a whole litany of other things.
Don't SEO us on that one.
Yeah, really. But yeah, you're absolutely right. CrossFit did have definitely a negative connotation to it for a while.
Yeah, and it was really intimidating, man. Yeah. And some gyms want to be that, and that's okay, right? Like that's cool. Yep. When we have people who come in here and they're looking for that, I have places I comfortably refer them to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't want that. I didn't want that. Nick, I didn't want to run a business that did that. Right? Like our mission at Sharkbite is to improve the lives of people through fitness, nutrition, community, and camaraderie. Right. Yeah. So what that basically means is we're just trying to make people's lives better, and we just do it with like box jumps and nutrition coaching and fun people to hang out with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I felt like CrossFit, the mission of CrossFit did not match the mission of what I wanted anymore. You know? Yeah. So we moved away from the name on purpose, right? And that was two different decisions than opening up more gyms. Yeah. We were always going to rebrand. It just took me a long time to feel confident enough to do it. Yeah.
And I think just to touch on that mission, I think as an observer here, I think we're also focused on attracting the general population. So whatever the general population is in Southwest Florida, that's who we want in our gym as our community.
That's true.
And you also have a much bigger emphasis on coaching instead of the, hey, let's take the 1% and send them to the games. Let's focus on keeping the general population in Southwest Florida happy, healthy, hungry for knowledge, and build camaraderie through mutual suffering.
Yeah, right. Well, so that, like what I said before, was the mission of Sharkbite, right? Yeah. But like my mission, like Nick's mission, mine is to create careers for people who want to do the thing that I got to do and I get to do, right? So like people who have a goal as altruistic as like helping other people, especially in the way we do, generally are not like properly compensated for it, right? I like to think for a long time, Jim Mears, he's the only other person who's been a coach here with me the whole time. He and I are working full-time jobs and then coming in, sometimes more than full-time jobs, and then coming in for 3 or 4 hours a day to coach because we love this and we love what we get to do for other people.
Exactly, that's what it's all about. Yeah. You kind of find that in military, first responders, they're not going to retire rich people. A gym owner is the same way where we're trying to help people here. That's our ultimate goal.
So part of my mission though, right, was like to be able to create careers for people like you, and people like Christy and Katie who like who want to dedicate their lives to helping others, right? And because of that, I'm sure you can attest that I ask for a whole lot more than most gym owners do of their coaches, right?
Well, that's the thing, and I remember when I first started here at the CrossFit Cape Coral back in the day, I was coaching up north on and off as a hobby, not a hobby, but as a part-time gig after my police job obviously took precedent. And it was a hobby. It was, you have a level 1, you come in, you coach a class or 2 for a free membership, right? So when you mentioned the idea to me about coaching here, I saw the operation that you're in here, and this was a professional operation. And I was a cop for 25 years. I know how to handle stress. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. This is professional, right? So eventually we sit down and you're like, well, you want to coach for me? I'm like, I'm a little scared, Nick. And he's like, dude, I want you here for the next 10 years. And this is how we can do it. This is, let's do it. And you immediately sent me to the level 1 to get recertified. You sent me to the level 2 a year later. And you just kind of really instill that professional development. And so but I remember my first few days, you were on vacation, you got violently ill on your day back, and I just graduated the L1 class for the second time, and they're like, Bailey's actually asking for help. Yeah. Because you're so sick you couldn't even answer your phone. Yeah, sure. And Bailey's like, we just need somebody to coach the afternoon right away. And I'm like, well, I haven't been through the intern program. They're like, get in there. So I vomited in the driveway, and then I went to the gym, and 30 people, including Sass, who showed up with a wig and glasses on, showed up that day. But I came back the next day. But that's what I want to commend you on, is that you do treat this is a professional organization. We're not here to play hee-haw with the fuck around game. All right, we're here. You demand the best from us. We demand the best from you, and it works out great.
Dude, and I love that, right? I love what I do every day. Like you were asking, like how do I get that drive, dude? I work till 1 or 2 in the morning every day because I love what I do. Right, yeah. I understand that some people don't feel that way about their jobs. Like that's not the case for me. And it's not the case for you. Right. It's not the case for a lot of people that work here. And I think a lot of that is because we're driven by a purpose, and that purpose is to help others. Yeah. Right. And I feel like my number 1 responsibility is to ensure that I can make it so you guys can do that. Yeah. Provide you with proper training, provide you guys with proper compensation, provide you guys with the confidence and the ability to do the things you want to do, set up scenarios in which you can be successful. Yeah.
And that's the thing is this is like the first, coaching job that I'm actually like a paid employee. I'm expected to do a job. Yeah. I'm expected to do that job well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you didn't say that part, I was gonna bring it up. Yeah. It's expected to do it well.
There's a lot of jobs you can come in, clock out. This is not one of them.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be completely honest, man. Like you've seen it over the last year or two. We've had lots of coaches who can't cut it in that kind of situation.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. That doesn't make them bad people. It just means we are a professional organization, and absolutely we expect our coaches to be professionals, and we expect our members to expect that from us.
Exactly. And and that's the thing is, why do we charge what we charge? Well, we charge what we charge because this is a coach focused facility. Right. You're not going to come in here and be lost, not for 1 second. You're going to be coached up from the warm up to the skill to the workout of the day.
And that's on purpose.
And that's by design. Yeah.
If you don't like that, man, there's gyms that cost $10 a month.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we all kind of sometimes moan and groan about the staff meetings, but the staff meetings are good. Yeah. They're helpful. What we do at the staff meetings is we pick up, we pick a movement, we go over that movement, we coach up that movement, we find better ways to teach that movement to our athletes. Mm-hmm. We find better ways to make our athletes a little bit better every day. And that's all because of you. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
And then getting into that, now that we have this big organization here, how many staff members do you have under your belt?
This is terrifying to say out loud. We have 21 employees.
21 employees.
21.
Just to give you a little perspective, the police department I retired from, I started there was 45 members, right? I retired there was 45 members, right? We never grew, we never expanded, we never developed as a police department. It was a shitty place to work, right? It was so terrible. And Now I've been here for almost 2 years, and the change I've seen in here in just the 2 years, it makes my head spin. I can't keep track of everything that's going on anymore.
Yeah, that happens to me too. Don't worry.
Yeah. So now you have these organizations, have all these employees. Talk to me about your general managers. We have how many general managers do you have now? You have.
So we technically have 4 if we count athletic recovery services, right?
Okay.
So we have Josh runs athletic recovery services. Crystal runs Shark Bite Cape Coral.
Right.
Sue runs Shark Bite Fort Myers, and Layla runs Shark Bite Naples.
Right.
And then with them we have Katie, who's our COO.
COO. Yeah. Okay, cool. So safe to say that coming from a military background where you're dealing with all men, obviously in a combat zone.
Yeah.
And now it's actually the shoes on the other foot. Now almost all of your command staff is women. What's that like working with women now?
Dude, it's different, man.
Yeah.
It took a long time. I don't want to say took like I won the game, like I'm finished with it, but it's taking a long time to adapt to that.
Right. Yeah.
Because like you come from a fraternal organization, but there were women.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying there were literally times where I didn't interact with a female person for over a year.
Over a year. Yeah. I can't even wrap my head around that.
At work, never.
Yeah.
So little things just like the way, like verbiage that I would used to say. Yeah, I would never say that.
Yeah, you don't say the F word as much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like I had to learn not to curse as much, which is hard for me.
Yeah.
I had to learn to be less aggressive in the way I say things.
Yeah.
Not because dude, if you've met any of our
kids,
not one of them is soft.
Absolutely. They're all hardcore.
Yeah. It's just like I was the wrong one.
Right.
You have to learn, like, you don't talk to people like that
exactly.
in the real world.
Yeah, you really can't talk to them.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I think that's just makes us all better. As like you said, even me, I came from a law enforcement background. We had one female officer, great cop. I thought the world of her. But yeah, it's a totally different. It's like a boys' club. Mm-hmm. Locker room talk is common.
Yep. Absolutely.
We say what we say, and obviously you can't handle that. You can't do that in a mixed company.
Well, yeah, and you know what? Like I've learned too is that it's not only that you can't do it, but like organizations are better off when you don't.
Yeah.
Right. Like. Yeah. I hear this somewhat frequently. Like, I can't say that because so and so is around or whatever. Right. I find like when we work in an organization where like we don't do that kind of stuff, people are much more trusting of each other.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I think when you trust the people you work with or work around or whatever verbiage you want to use for that, you're willing to do a lot more. Yeah. Like something as simple as this, right? Like when you trust the people you work with, you stay here after the 6:30 class to set up the gym for 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Yeah.
You don't think, should I do this? You just do it.
You just do it. It's the right thing to do.
And you also know they're going to do it for me.
Yeah.
When you don't trust the people you work with, you don't cover for them. You don't help them in ways you don't necessarily have to.
Exactly. You do the bare bones minimum. You collect your paycheck, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's when we talk about our 21 employees, the vast majority are women, right?
Yeah.
You know what I found, man? Like, this might be on PC to say, but like, most guys suck as coaches.
I'll be honest with you. I find that absolutely right too.
Yeah.
I'm just dealing with female coaches. They demonstrate a hell of a lot better. Like Lori is a level 1, and sometimes I want to bring her in to do the demonstration because she's a better demonstrator than I am.
Yeah, she's a better mover, right?
Yeah. Women are able to communicate a little bit better. I think guys are like, pick that up and put it down.
Yeah.
But women are like, hey, this is
Dude, you're right? And I think it might go back to what I was saying about the whole trust thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, too many guys, especially guys in their 20s and 30s, they're not yet ready to be
as emotionally developed.
Yeah, right. Like they're not ready to be empathetic.
Yes,
and like,
exactly.
We've learned this. Like being a coach is far more empathy.
Hell yeah.
Way less. How many muscles do you have, or how much do you power clean?
Right. Like, exactly.
The most impressive athletes usually suck as coaches.
Yeah, and let's face it. Do we care about the alpha athlete, whether it's a guy or girl, if they hit a super heavy deadlift, or that athlete that gets their first rope climb? Like, how ecstatic are we when we see somebody climb up a rope for the first time?
Literally, like, because what are we doing? We're improving their life through health, fitness, nutrition, camaraderie, community, right? Like, that's so much, to me, that's so much better than chasing a goal that is nearly impossible and provides really no value after you've achieved it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I found, now that we have, it's funny because there was a time where it was all guy coaches.
Yeah.
And one woman. And man, do I like our coaching staff more. And I feel like our members just get a way better experience because, like Chris, I'll say this to you, bro. It's rare to find guys like you who are willing to be empathetic with people. Like
thank you.
When you have a woman crying because she doesn't understand why she's not being successful in the way she wants to be, most dudes aren't like, hey, name here.
Right.
I'd love to help you with that. How can I?
Yeah, exactly.
Most are like, tough it up, stupid.
Yeah, walk it off.
Yeah. Like, I don't want that crap, man. Go somewhere else.
No, and if you look at it, the fact that we have a lot of female coaches, but we also have a lot of female members.
Totally.
We have a lot of female athletes.
Yep.
So it's good for them to see like a Coach Crystal up front in that class, banging out handstand push-ups.
Absolutely. Positive reinforcement.
Exactly.
See what you want to be. Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's phenomenal. I think it just makes the gym a whole better place.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'll tell you what, man, all of them challenge me a lot.
Yeah.
They challenge me to grow as a leader, to grow as a manager. Like,
absolutely.
I don't know if I get that if I'm in a pack of dudes where we're all making dick jokes together.
Exactly. So, I could totally see your point there. Yeah. I think if it was just me, you, and Jim, I think we would probably be like light years behind where we are right now.
100% with that. 100%.
And that's not to say anything against me, you, and Jim. I think we're good coaches.
I agree. But I agree with you.
All right. So, fast forward a little bit. All right, so we mentioned that Abba was a good mentor to you. Do you have any other mentors that you like that you want to give a shout out to that kind of shaped your development here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had some guys in the Army. A guy named Patrick Ireland. He was a boss man for a little bit. I literally don't know if he has social media anymore, so I don't know if I'll ever see this. But he was awesome. He was one of the guys who taught me. I just now having this realization. Maybe he was one of the guys who taught me to like act on something I want to act on rather than just thinking about it. You know, he was a great leader. Adam Farmer, who's another guy in the same time I was in the Army. Joe Brannicky, he was one of my first bosses. He was a friend of mine who became my boss, and he taught me a lot about giving a shit about the people under you.
Right.
Yeah. He was a really interesting dude. He's a very, very callous individual, I would say. But he cared aggressively for the people under him. You know?
That's nice.
So he might be real mean to you.
Yeah.
But he's also like stopping bullets from hitting you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He may be mean to you, but at least you get to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah, right? And like it was. I'm also kind of just now realizing I probably picked up a lot of that from him. You know. I got some guys I work with right now, Jeff and Josh. They're both Army guys. They're mentors in my 2-brain group.
Nice. So are you talking about Josh?
Josh Price.
Josh Price. Okay.
Yeah, Josh Price and Jeff Smith. They're both great dudes.
Yeah. And
then I'm in a networking group with a lot of other really successful gym owners that are really, really cool to learn from. Yeah. You know.
So it like kind of reinforces that you can't just sit back.
Yeah, and I mean, and I would be remiss if I didn't say Jim. Years. Yeah. Jim's been my friend for many, many years, and he may work for me or whatever, but like, he's definitely a mentor of mine.
Yeah, he's just a go-to guy for knowledge.
Jim over the years has been one of those people that I'll filter my reactions through. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Like for example, if Jim doesn't like someone. Yeah. I shouldn't like them. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Like I know that's a clear. If we have a coach and Jim is like, hey man, this isn't working out. Yeah. I know that like okay. Gotcha. This guy's not going to work out. Yeah. You know. Yeah, that's a good guy to kind of have a feel of sense for because Jim knows people. He has a good sense of people. Yeah. If we have a super toxic member. Yeah. You know. Jim feels he needs to say something about it. I'm like, oh. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. And luckily we've had a phenomenal community. Yeah, we have. Especially since coming back from quarantine. Yes. Oh man. And I think that's kind of what helped us was the fact that the coaches were on top of our members during quarantine, keeping them engaged, keeping them with the virtual training. But we also were blessed with the best people in Southwest Florida to work out here. Yeah. I like to describe our members as hungry, happy, and humble. Yeah, absolutely. They're hungry for knowledge, they're happy people, and they're humble. You don't see anybody bragging to, I mean, guys playfully, obviously. I mean, a good way to describe it is like, you, me, and Cintron. Yeah. Like, we might talk smack to each other when we beat the other one. Yeah. But I'm like just as happy for you or him when you guys beat me. Same here. When I see you do butterfly muscle ups, I'm like, look at this guy. Like, how awesome is that, right? Yeah. Or, that one time that you beat me in Diane, I think we were 3. I think that's why I didn't do the workout today, Chris. All right. So, and now let's get into like the whole loyalty business. So obviously, I've been working in a police department for 25 years. I come here
and I now understand what loyalty means from a boss. You know, like I've had bosses that cared about their own career, right? You know, you're obviously the owner here, but you're loyal to all, not only to your community here, but you're loyal to your staff members. I remember, as busy as you are, I had to sell my house. I was kind of rushed for time. I needed some time to get stuff squared away. And you immediately jumped up and you're like, I got you covered, whatever you need. And I'm like, how is that even possible? How is it? Because like you're always running around, you know? But that's the thing that we love about you is your undying loyalty, right? So I don't even know if I should go into this, but all right, let's. But like, how do you feel like if? Do you feel like members should have a sense of loyalty, or do you feel that members are due paying members and they don't owe us anything, but we owe them? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Is it like a two-way street or not so much?
That's a great question. And if you asked me this 3 years ago, just picking a random time, I would probably have a different answer. Yeah. Right? I don't think they, I love our members, right? Like a lot of them personally, like in real life. I really do care about them.
They become family.
Yeah, right, literally. Yeah. You can't spend this much time around people and have this many emotional connections to them and not have that be real.
Exactly, yeah.
But I'll be honest, man, I don't think they owe us anything.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. Like, I feel the same way, like, obviously we love our members, and every time, like, even if somebody gets contracts COVID, like obviously there's a deep concern for that individual member. But I feel like it's up to us. We can coach 100 great classes, and we could just coach one bad class and lose 10 members, right? I mean, it just works that way. Yeah, it can happen that way.
It can. So like
they don't owe us anything.
Right. That's like an important thing to understand, right? Yeah. Like when we were more of like a clubhouse style gym.
Right.
In the early years, it would be like a very emotional thing.
Yeah. Somebody left, there'd be some drama.
Yeah, right. And you would feel like, oh, like how could they do this to me? And
right.
Like the coaches would feel that way, and I would feel that way.
Yeah.
But now, man, it's just like, dude, we just want to give people the best fucking thing we can.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
we want to make their lives better, right?
Yeah.
And like, and I know, and honestly, everybody here knows, if you walk in these doors, we're going to make your life better.
Absolutely.
My friend's got a great quote. It's like, this place will change you if you let it,
Yeah, that is a great quote.
If you come in here, we are going to give you 145% at all times. We're going to make your day better. We're going to do everything we can to make your life better.
Make it their best
through
hour
what
of the
we
day.
do here, And if you don't want that anymore, that's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, a lot of my best friends don't come to the gym anymore.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. And that kind of goes into now the segueing into when I first started here, I finally went in that back office when I first got hired here. Scary office. by the way, really scary place. But I saw this on the wall. It's CrossFit Cape Coral Family Values, right? Core values here. And I never saw this in my 25 years as a police officer. You would think in a police department there'd be some sort of core values. We had a mission statement. Couldn't tell you what the hell it was. Couldn't tell you what it was. But the fact that we have core values, the fact is we're a family. The class comes first. Team is greater than the individual. Constant pursuit of excellence. Be the example and growth mindset. These are things that come out of this came from you. And I'm like, this is the organization I want to belong to. Something that has core values. You want to talk about the core values a little bit?
Yeah, so this sounds like super corporate. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to most people. But like, when you don't have like a mission or vision or values, it's really hard to make decisions and move forward in the way you want to move, right?
Yeah.
When we lay these things out, we can make really easy decisions.
Right.
We can say, something as simple as the class comes first, right? Yeah. I really like to do muscle ups, right? That's a thing I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Let's say the workout today is Diane, right? Diane is handstand push-ups and deadlifts.
Yeah.
I want to do muscle ups and snatches, right? I have a key.
Yeah.
I have 3 gyms. I can go all over the place.
Go wherever you want to do.
But I want to work out at 9:30. But I don't want to do Diane.
Right.
Should I work out in the corner and do my muscle ups and snatches and take up space from your 9:30 class?
Yeah.
Like the answer is no, because that doesn't fit our core values. Right. But you've been in CrossFit gyms.
Yeah.
You've seen that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We used to have that here.
There's always like the alpha athlete in the corner of the room, thinking they're getting ready for the games.
Yeah.
Right?
So like It's a very, 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 very easy decision now. Yeah. Should I do that? Nope. Because it doesn't match our values.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And you don't know that until you know what your values are.
Yeah.
You know, and like constant pursuit of excellence, right? I don't want coaches on our team who don't want to get better.
Exactly.
I don't want staff members on our team who don't want to get better. I don't want to be on the team if I don't want to get better.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, if a coach says, I don't really want to do that level 2 training, Nick, then that should be a red flag.
100%, bro. Like, someone doesn't want to come to a staff meeting and get better. Like, they're at 8 o'clock at night, dude. I get it. We're tired, you know? Like,
hey.
But if you don't want to get better.
Yeah, it's one time a month.
Bro, right. Okay, so you asked about, like, that fire I have, right?
Yeah.
I feed off you guys.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm working with a bunch of people who are not motivated to get better and do cool things.
Right.
I'll lose my fire, and I don't want that.
Same here. I think that's just natural.
Right.
Yeah.
So you make those core values, the be the example one, right?
Yeah.
Do you drop kettlebells after you're done?
Right. Never.
No, right? Because you're the example, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy to live those values once you've made ones that align with what you want.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
So it was really important to me. We did this probably 4-ish years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago, and we've updated it a couple times. But man, did they make my life easier as a business owner, and did they make it easier to see what coaches fit here and which members will be happy here.
Yeah.
Because we just want to, I mean, like, if you can't get on board with that, I don't really want you here, bro. You probably don't fit in.
Exactly. Yeah. And the fact is, like, not only did you post that up there and then leave it there, but we live by this. Yeah. Like, we have an internship program for coaches. Mm-hmm. You know, just because somebody gets their level 1 doesn't mean, okay, you can coach tomorrow. Yeah. You know, no, you're gonna have to earn that. You're gonna have to do a little internship. You're gonna be critiqued by a coach. You're gonna get some feedback. You might not like the feedback, but it is what it is. We want the best coaches here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got a couple people going through it right now, and I'll tell you what, man, that internship program never fails, dude. Yeah. Anyone who doesn't do well during the internship program isn't going to be a good coach.
No, they're going to wash out.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to either A, we're going to wash them out, or B, they're going to come to that realization real quick on their own.
Yep.
So we talked about who inspires you and everything. Let's talk about how the hell do you not lose your shit in public, man? Listen, we've known each other for almost 2 years, and you're my employer, you're also my good friend, and you're like a brother to me. And we've had some intense conversations, too. And I'd like to thank you for not punching me in the face, okay? This is my moneymaker here. But how do you keep your cool, man?
It's so funny, dude, because if anyone listens to this podcast and knew me 4 years ago, they'd be like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Right?
Yeah. It's hard, man. Yeah. It's hard. But, like, man, I don't know a great way to answer that. I try to, okay, I used to be really bad at reacting really fast, right? You know, I've probably sent some very mean texts very quickly as responses to people, or said things to people very quickly in response to something they said to me that I shouldn't have done, right?
I'm guilty as charged.
Yeah, totally, right? And I had to kind of start to decide, like, and this is over time. I made this a really key part of my professional development for about a straight year, right? And then I've tried to continue to practice it, is communicating with others, right? Yeah. Because I could just say, why doesn't everybody just do what the fuck I want all the time? Right. You know? But that doesn't get me to the end result I want. Yeah. You know? Like, the people around me, I'm blessed. I feel weird to say the word blessed, but I'm blessed in that the people around me are all really good people. You know? Part of that is because of some of the standards we've made, you know, so the not good ones go away. Yeah. Another one is because you guys are just good people. You know?
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So I try to think, like, for example, let's say you say something that pisses me off, right? Yeah. I have to kind of go through an evaluatory period and be like, okay, first off, do I think Chris is trying to piss me off? Right. You know, like, or do I think he has, like, negative intent here? Yeah. You know, and 99.5% of the time, the answer is no. Right. You know, like, generally, people are not trying to be hurtful or trying to be bad or trying to be. So it's like, okay, cool. What do they really want? Yeah. Why are they saying that? How can we get to the core of what they're trying to achieve, right? So when you approach, like, situations like that, it, in my opinion, for me at least, I can't say this will work for anybody else, it helps me not react emotionally to things that I really want to react emotionally to, you know? And another one too, man, is like, people will text you things they wouldn't say in real life.
You're absolutely right.
You know?
We get that all the time, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, people will act a lot more aggressive or hurtful when there is the protection of technology than they would face to face or even on the phone. Yeah. You know? So something I had to learn was lots of times, it's way better for me to be like, let's talk in person.
Yeah, good
and,
call.
And not react in the way I want to. You know?
The other thing with that too is, even if they were going to say it to your face, even though they did it on text, even if they're going to say it to your face, if you say, let's talk about this in person, there's going to be a little bit of a cooling off period.
100%.
Yeah, and then everybody's kind of readjust, kind of reset a little bit.
Yeah, we had a situation a couple years ago where we had a bunch of people. We made some changes in the gym, and a bunch of people chose to go do other things instead.
Yeah.
But rather than them just go do other things, they decided to like make sure I knew about it as often as possible.
Yeah, like throw a grenade in the room as they left.
Yeah, like at the time, lots of people had my cell phone number, and they would send me very rude and hurtful things over a many month long period. You know, and I made the mistake, especially at the beginning of that, of responding to some of those.
Right.
You know, and I said really dumb shit I shouldn't have said, and you know, you learn. Right?
You're also a young man at the time.
Yeah. So I learned, okay, like that cooling off period. You said, if I can wait a day to answer some of these, I'm much more rational.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I give a much more rational answer. I give a much more emotion-free answer. I can help. I can try to get to the root of what the person wants or needs from me. You know.
And that's the thing. Maybe I shouldn't have said, "How come you don't lose your shit?" How do you stay so composed? I think is the real question there. And that was the thing. You nailed it. Is that you kind of sit back a little bit, think about it. And then come up, because like there's been plenty of times where you could have literally ripped my head off, and I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, dude, we are a bunch of passionate people. Like if you're on this staff, you're a passionate person.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
our end goals are the same.
Well, that's the important part, right? That's, man, let's back it up. Mission, vision, values, right? Like we all align.
Yeah.
We want the same end goal, right?
Right.
We might sometimes disagree on how to get to the end goal,
right.
But when we have that trust that we talked about, and we understand, and I'm not talking about you, man, I'm talking about the people on our team. When we have the trust that we all believe in the same end goal,
yeah.
You know, as your boss, I can say, okay, I think we should do what you think.
Yeah.
You know, or I can say, I don't think we should, but this is why.
Yeah.
Right. And like, if we trust each other, then we feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
If we don't trust each other, then it's like, that guy's a jerk. He doesn't value my opinion, or he doesn't want to do what I want to do, or what he does is stupid. Right. You know, like a big part of that composure you're talking about is me kind of going through that like evaluatory process of like, is this person aligned with me long term?
Yeah.
Do they want to do the same thing I want to do? Like,
right.
Do they want to get to the same place I want to get?
Yeah.
Are they trying to piss me off?
Right.
You know?
Right. Or they just trying to turn the screw a little. Yeah.
But it's a practice, right? It's like by no means does that happen naturally. I used to say a lot of heinous shit back to people when they would say things to me that I shouldn't have said.
Right. You know? Yeah. Yeah. No, and I'm guilty of it too. And I think I think that just kind of comes in time too. So like, obviously you've owned Shark Bite and CrossFit Cape Coral for many years. So you probably went through this same routine many times of that whole process. So now you're an expert at keeping your cool.
I wouldn't say an expert, but
right.
I'm way better than I used to be. That's for sure. Yeah.
All right. Also, the other thing I wanted to point out too, I think it's great that you're 33 now. And that we have older coaches and younger coaches. And I see it as one of the older coaches. I really appreciate seeing young coaches like Bailey, V, Val, all those young coaches, because they bring such an interesting perspective. Mm-hmm. So I may be thinking one way, Jim may be thinking one way, but then these coaches are thinking another, and it really just kind of makes it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A couple people have heard me say in the past that I'm never hiring anyone in their 20s again.
Yeah.
And I've heard many people, probably closer to your age, say, "Oh, this young generation, they don't want to work."
Yeah.
And like that's not true.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. I'm part of that young generation. I work my butt off constantly.
You're the one of the hardest. Honestly, you're the hardest working person I've ever met in my life.
What it is that I think, especially with like the newer generation, they're more purpose driven than they are like financial reward driven, you know?
Right.
So what I think we have is a lot of people who are used to hiring people of a certain age are used to incentivizing those people with things like salary or benefits or whatever, and people of my generation and below have grown up with like they don't care about that much. You know, like I'm not a financially motivated person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you give me $1 million or $1,000, if it doesn't help me do the things I want to do, that doesn't actually matter any more or less to me. You know,
exactly. Like, is my life gonna be that much better if I have $1 million? I mean, I'm still gonna want to do something with my life, right? Like,
so the cool thing is like having, like you said, older coaches and younger coaches is finding ways to motivate them. Motivate you guys to do the things you want to be doing, to provide the best service for our members, and to be like super fulfilled in your job. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And just to touch on, because I know we're probably running.
We got time. We're good.
We got okay, good. So a couple things. So you kept you're able to keep your composure pretty darn good. What is there like a phobia you want to talk about? Like a fear. That if not, no big deal.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it because you guys will fuck with me somehow.
No, maybe not a phobia that me and Mike could jump on. But like, is there like a fear in the back of your head that kind of maybe keeps you up at night sometimes?
I don't know. I'm not like scared of spiders.
Oh yeah. Like, no, like when the shutdown came last year.
Yeah.
You were probably obviously scared that this could be a long-term thing. You could lose your business and you'd have to start over again.
Yeah, you remember I was planning for this to be like 4 or 5 months, not a month and a half.
Yeah, and you planned for it great. I mean, you had different stages set up for every contingency. But there still had to be a little bit of fear in the back of your head, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if you're asking me like what my fears are that I don't get to do something that I feel like matters.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky that I get to do something that matters all the time. You know, so great, I don't get to test that fear at all.
Right. You know? That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about. Everybody loves to know like what kind of books you're reading and podcasts. So like, what are you currently reading and listening to these days?
My favorite book of all time is World War Z.
All right, I'm gonna write that one down for my personal.
World War Z. It's an oral history of the zombie apocalypse.
All right.
Man, that sounds like super lame. It sounds like super like nerdy.
You have my complete attention with that.
I've read that book probably 9 times in my life, and I always read it at a different stage of my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm a different person every time I read it, and I get such a different perspective. So like I recommend it to everybody.
I'll definitely check it out then.
Post COVID and post the world's reaction to COVID.
Yeah.
It's gonna have a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
The book that I think every single person alive should read or listen to is called Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. The whole book talks about why we don't understand each other.
Oh. Cool.
And it dives into, I don't know if this is going to look upset. It dives into some really kind of upsetting topics in it. But I think the entire human population would be better if they read that book.
I'll definitely check it out then. Yeah. I'm looking for a good one.
Then I listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't listen to a whole lot of music. So you've seen this. When you come in and I'm working out by myself, I have like a podcast going. Or a book or something.
Yeah.
I like Donald Miller's Story Brand. I like there's some cool fitness ones. Like I think Jason Khalifa has some cool podcasts.
Yeah, I like The Business of Fitness. Pretty good. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of basketball stuff. I'm a major basketball fan. That's like
Miami Heat. Right?
When I want to turn my brain off a little bit, I listen to like Zach Lowe or Bill Simmons talking about basketball stuff. I'm always looking for a new podcast though.
Yeah. I'm almost kind of getting into the Joe Rogan experience a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
You could fall down that hole for a while.
You could. Yeah. He has a lot of interesting characters on there. Well, anyway, so this one podcast was about sleep. They had a sleep expert on, and they said that daylight savings time, that 1 hour change, will increase your risk of heart attack by like 60% or something.
What an outdated thing we're still dealing with.
Right. So that's why I like the Joe Rogan experience. There's a lot of interesting guests that he has on the show there.
Yeah.
What else? So that might be a good one for you to check out too. That one. Also, Jocko Willink, can't go wrong if you want a good, want to get kicked in the ass and shit like that. Make you feel bad for yourself if you didn't do 100 burpees today.
Listen
to Jocko Willink. Yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about. Okay, before we get into this. As a coach, you've seen a lot. We've seen a lot recently. What's like the craziest thing that you've seen happen in the gym over the last, over your career?
Man, when you said that, everything just blended together. Like eight years just blended together the second when you said that.
Right.
I mean, the craziest thing was probably that freaking loser running over a flagpole last year.
Yes, I was running with the rest of the class that day.
Yeah, the 4 o'clock class is out running.
Yeah,
and some loser comes out of this mechanic shop and wants to peel out in front of the girls.
Yeah, impress the women over there.
Yeah, and ends up crashing into our flagpole and then doing a hit and run and leaving.
Yeah, totally taken off.
Yeah,
ripped off the quarter panel of his car and still took off.
one of the I guess probably one of the more emotional times was Hurricane Irma.
Yeah.
Right. We were shutting down the gym. We had gotten most of the expensive stuff out of it, and we had taken it to houses. We were pretty aware that this building is not the most solid thing in the world, And with what Hurricane Irma was being portrayed as at the time, we were like, we'll probably never see this gym again.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember
wow,
giving the outside wall a kiss on the way out, and I was like, best of luck, guys. We'll see you in a couple days, hopefully.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
If I was here, I'd probably hunker down here.
This is not the building I'm hunker down.
I'm the facility manager. I'm going down with shit. Yeah, that had to be pretty terrifying. I hope I never get to experience a Florida hurricane, but I know I'm not gonna get that lucky.
And you know what? Like, the real answer to that is, dude, there's been so many cool things that have happened here. I honestly can't bring them all together because like the things that are most exciting to me aren't probably all that exciting to other people.
Yeah.
You know, like watching like a Friday Night Lights.
Right.
Having 50 or 60 people in here.
That whole experience, the Open was amazing.
Just a bunch of people who are not, wouldn't identify themselves as like professional athletes.
Yeah.
Doing like really cool shit they thought they could never do. You know, like
you just see you see all these people having a great time. Mutually suffering but still having a great time.
Yeah.
Having mimosas on a Friday night breakfast. Yeah, I mean, these are normal people that go to work every day. They're family people, but here, that we can get to be like our true unicorn.
Yeah, man. Where else can you be as weird as we are?
Exactly.
Okay.
You can be as weird as you like. So what? Give us a glimpse of what is the future of Shark Bite.
I was on another podcast this week and somebody tried to get me to talk about that too. Well, dude, you know this, man. We're always growing.
We are.
We're always growing.
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
Right. We're never gonna not be growing.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the reality of it. Growing outwards or growing inwards.
Yeah.
We will always be growing. Right.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready to talk about the next thing yet. But at least not on camera.
All right. That's all right.
Yeah, I mean that's not like a hazy answer. It's the truth. So.
No, I totally get it. There's a lot of things we keep close to the vest until it's time. And why should people choose Shark Bite over? There's plenty. Cape Coral's a big place, or Fort Myers or Naples even. Why should people choose us?
Because trying to get like healthy and happy shouldn't be so damn complicated.
Yeah. Or miserable for that matter.
Right. It shouldn't be so hard. Right. Yeah. And like. We want to help people do that.
Yeah.
We want to help alleviate the confusion and the stress and the fear and anxiety that comes from making changes like that. Yeah. And we just want to make people's lives better. Yeah. And that's all we do.
Yeah.
We do it through power cleans and box jumps, but like all we're doing is making people's lives better.
Yeah. That's it, man. And you know what I love? I think eventually once this pandemic unravels and we have a chance to study it, I think studies are going to show conclusively that living an active, healthy lifestyle is going to give us a little bit of an edge against these illnesses.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to bring up, Nick, before we close it out?
No, big shout to you, to Katie, and to Steph for surprising me with this.
Yeah, listen.
I didn't know we were going to be doing this. So.
This was cool, man.
Yeah.
I know I can speak for Katie and Stephanie and the rest of us. We all love you, man.
Thanks, bro.
We do. We think the world of you. You're not just my employer. You're a brother to me. And, if I ever deserve a punch in the face, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to hold it against you. Just try not to break anything. All right? Obviously, you're a big part. You are Shark Bite. So without you, we'd like to think that, I'd like to think that I can keep doing this for the rest of my functional life.
I hope so, man.
I love it here. And I love what you built here, man.
Thanks,
so happy birthday, brother.
Thank you. All right, thanks for hanging out with us today on the Shark Bite Show. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Shark Bite Fitness and Nutrition, or on our website at sharkbitefitness.com. If you'd like to find out more about our guests, their information will be in the show notes. If you'd like to talk to us about getting more fit, feel free to schedule a free no-sweat intro at one of our locations in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, or Naples, Florida.